Good evening. My name is Staff Sergeant Travis Baker with Calgary Police Service. I work in the General Investigations section. Today we had a report of an animal situation in Forest Lawn. I know that a media release went out earlier in reference to 3 cats that were allegedly poisoned. We're just getting updates now. The person is obviously in custody. We're getting some new updates. Obviously there's been a change. They weren't poisoned. It is alleged that they were strangled. So just that quick update. I'll just read the release for you now. The Calgary Police Service has 1 man in custody in connection with animal cruelty allegations. The man is facing charges after he allegedly strangled up to 3 cats and threw them in a Forest Lawn garbage container. 2 of the kittens were recovered deceased. However, one of the animals was able to escape and is likely in the area and is very likely in extreme medical distress. The young black cat was last seen by a utility worker who saved it from the dumpster, but unfortunately the animal was able to run away and has not been seen since. The cats were found today, Monday, July 6th, 2015, at approximately 9:45 a.m. in the 2800 block of 14th Avenue Southeast. The utility worker came upon the incident and tried to intervene. He also called police, who attended the scene and took a 75-year-old man into custody. The man is currently being interviewed as we speak. As charges have not been laid, we are going to be withholding his name until after that's done. The service is asking anyone who lives in the area where the incident occurred to check their property for this distressed animal. And if the person finds the animal, please contact the nearest vet or call the police immediately and we will sort it out. Along with the 2 deceased cats, police found at least 15 rabbits living in deplorable conditions in the backyard of the person that's in custody. Those animals have been seized by the Calgary Humane Society, and traps have been set up to capture the cat in hope of rescuing them and finding out what's happened to them. So again, 2 charges. We're looking at 2 charges of animal cruelty under the criminal code.
In the release, I think it said 14 of the rabbits were contained, and is there one that's on the loose? Or?
No. Apparently the backyard where the rabbits were kept is in an absolute disaster state. It's deplorable. There's feces. Several of the animals, the rabbits, are in such medical distress that they're going to be taken over and examined quite thoroughly. So pretty hard to judge how many of them there were. I believe that there was traps in the backyard to capture some of the rabbits that may have escaped from this guy's cages. So the count that came out with the 14 probably was just the initial count. It was at least 15 from what I heard just 5 minutes ago.
And does this man face charges because of the rabbits at this point?
Very well could be as well. The animals, from what I heard from the investigator that I just spoke to, she has photos of the animals. The Humane Society will examine them. And if it looks like they've been abused as well, then charges could be pending on that as well. And they could go either criminal or they could go under the Provincial Act.
Does that mean he faces criminal charges with the deaths of the cats?
Certainly, yes.
If you could just, because I'm not as smart as I'd like to be, exact charges on the cats.
It'll be charges of animal cruelty under the criminal code. Of course, the investigation is still ongoing, so until we have more details, but that is the direction that we're certainly headed with the charges. So wouldn't be the first time we've laid these. You certainly can't strangle a cat and throw it in a dumpster. It's completely unreasonable and it's against the law. So we're going to deal with it. I can't quote you the exact section. There's a bunch of sections under the criminal code that refer to animal cruelty.
445.
Sorry?
445 is this one.
445 would be. Thank you very much.
Any other animals found on the property?
No, we've seized every animal that was there. So it was just basically the rabbits. The cats did not belong to this person, so they were somebody else's cats.
And have the cats' owners been found?
We haven't found them yet. We'll be doing a necropsy on the animals. Hopefully the homeowner has either had them tattooed or had a chip put into the cat, and we'll be able to locate the owner that way. We would ask that every person that's lost a cat in the last year doesn't call the Calgary Police Service in the hopes that we've located their cat. But if you do happen to live close to this address and you're missing a black cat, certainly reach out to us.
Were all 3 black?
The one that we recovered is black, and I can't tell you what the other 2 color of the cats were.
One in the bin was black and a brown, and then the one that got away was black.
Black.
Do you know approximate ages?
I'm understanding I know we use cat and kitten because it appears that they're quite young cats. So my understanding is that this gentleman was raising the rabbits to eat, and the rabbits were running rampant throughout the yard, and he put out traps to try and catch some of his own rabbits, and that was kind of how the cats got involved. So my guess is that the cats came in to chase after the rabbits.
And they were in fact caught by the traps?
Yes.
Do we know how long they were in the traps? Or?
No.
What kind of traps?
They would be, I haven't been there. I haven't been to the house yet. But my guess is that the traps would be some kind of humane trap and to catch them because he is eating them. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't want them in a leg gold trap.
Punishment for this section, do we know?
It varies. It can get quite severe, actually, but in this case, we don't know. We'll have to look at all the circumstances. I'd have to pull up the criminal code to actually get you the actual penalty that he could be facing.
And has this man been talking, I'm sorry, has this man been talking to you about what happened? Have you had a good conversation with him?
Absolutely. He's speaking to the detective right now. The reason for our delay was we legitimately were on the phone with the detective. We actually pulled her out of the interview to get some details for you guys because we knew you'd want to have it by 6.
Travis, I know this just happened today, but there haven't been any calls yet, any tips from the public yet about that cat that's currently on the loose?
No, nothing yet.
Did the worker witness something in the act, or what exactly did the worker walk in on?
The worker finds the cats in the dumpster and then tries to rescue the other one. And the cat, fearing for its safety, takes off and runs away from him.
But the man wasn't there?
The man was in the area, so I'm not sure if the worker actually saw the individual putting the cats in the dumpster or not. I haven't got his statement yet. And as I said, the detectives are still over there, so it hasn't come back to us yet. We just wanted to get it out to you guys before 6 o'clock. So.
The man in custody is 75 years old. What do you make of that?
Well, 75, he might be pretty set in his ways. I know it's pretty unusual for a major city like Calgary to have somebody growing their own food in their backyard, even if it is an animal. Rabbits are eaten by some people, but it still strikes us as quite strange. And definitely the violence against the cats is, I don't know who would even think that that's even reasonable at all. So,
Was there evidence that this had been going on for some time?
other than what we have today with the 2 cats and then the one that escaped, no. But like I said, the animals that were in the yard, the rabbits, were in deplorable condition.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Deplorable? Quite often with rabbits, they're quite prone to eye infections, and we've seen this before. If they're not kept up and given enough space to live in, looked after properly, cages cleaned, they get infections and they suffer greatly. Because of that, they lose their eyesight, and it becomes quite bad. From the detective, she says that the animal feces is piled up in the backyard. Probably a fairly good health concern there, not just for the rabbits, but for human beings as well. So we take that quite seriously, so the Humane Society will be looking into that.
Is there anything else about the property you found concerning besides the animals in there?
No. Other than just the animals in the backyard, we know that he doesn't have any other animals. If he did, we would be seizing those as well, just to look after them. But it looks like it's just the 15 plus rabbits, and then obviously the 2 cats, and we've confirmed that the cats don't belong to him. So
Is the backyard, can it be seen, like from the public, it's not like a contained backyard?
I would love to give you the answer. I haven't been there though. So
Just wondering if there's been any, had there been, do we know if there's been any related calls about this particular property?
not that I know of.